Welcome everyone. The Bhagavad Gita. God, all He needs is love. There is this verse which says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yo me Bhaktaya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktayu Prahatam Shanami Prayatatmanaha. If one offers me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or a little water with devotion and a heart that is pure, I will accept that gift of love. If you think about it, all the things that the Gita mentions in this verse as valid offerings to God, leaves, flowers, fruits, and water, are freely and generously available in nature. So anybody can afford that, right? He does not need gold and fine silks and sumptuous food. God does not belong to the privilege. All he needs is love. Krishna says that saints and sinners are all the same to him. The Gita actually has him saying, even if a man of the most vile conduct worships me with undistracted devotion, he must be reckoned as righteous. He also says that no action is good or evil as long as it is done as an offering to him. If that is true, what is the point of being good and doing right action? Far easier to do what we like as long as we offer the action to God and remember to say our prayers after. Isn't it? But that apparently is not how it works. You see, Hinduism believes very seriously in the process of cause and effect. Your smallest action sets off a chain of reactions. That is like cause and effect, which you cannot control, let alone imagine. Right actions are actions that are unselfish and responsible and not performed out of anger or greed. And it usually leads to good consequences. And wrong actions lead to bad ones. But here's the tricky part. There are no guarantees. Even right actions can sometimes lead to the wrong consequences because of someone else's right or wrong action. After all, you don't function alone in the world. Let's say your uncle speeds through a red light at a four-way traffic signal because you are late for a movie. Another car coming in from the road on the left, whose signal is actually green, is forced to brake suddenly to avoid your car. A bike that is just behind this car slams into it, and the biker's wife, who is riding with a little baby, falls off and gets badly hurt. At the same time that the lady and her baby are getting admitted into hospital, you are lining up to buy popcorn. Your wrong action has led to, at least as far as you know, right consequences. That means you made it in time for the movie and no policeman caught you. You have no idea about the wrong consequences that your action has caused. The other car's right action, braking to avoid hitting your car, even though its driver had the right to go through, has led to terrible consequences for the third person. You see how this works? Very often, it looks to us as if the sinners are getting away scot-free and the saints are suffering. But the reality is far more complex than we realize. Simply because it is impossible for us to see the whole picture. We certainly cannot change the seemingly random and seemingly unfair things that happen to good people and bad people around us. The one thing we can do, however, is to add our bit to the fund of right actions in the world by doing right actions ourselves. It is all a matter of balance, really, and common sense. Of course, that's another thing. Common sense isn't common enough. So, the more people do right actions, the more the balance of the world will tip towards rightness, and we will all have a better world to live in. What about the Gita statement that no action is good or evil by itself? Most of us would agree that killing another person is bad, evil. But what if that person was hurting someone else and would have killed him or her or them if someone hadn't killed him? According to the Gita, it is all about the intent behind the action, not the action itself. If the action is unselfish, that is, you're getting nothing out of it, not even pleasure. If the action is not driven by anger or greed or desire, if the action is something you believe is your duty to do, like for instance, a soldier's duty is to fight and kill, it is right action, whatever that action is. Remember, that even though you may do the action in the exact spirit that the Gita recommends, you may still have to face consequences. And then the Gita goes one step further. Even if we slip into the worst kind of wrong action, it says, even if man slow hands us the worst punishment there's no need to despair. If we are truly sorry about what we have done, if we sincerely try to reform, God's law will treat us just the same as a saint, and we will be rewarded with as much inner peace and happiness as anyone else. So you see, that's a nice warm blanket of a thought to snuggle into at night. Don't you agree? Thank you so much for listening. Do subscribe and share.